All right, hey, good evening, everybody. It's Monday, August 26th, 10:15 p.m. Breaking news on the McKinley fire. We're up to 67% containment. I know a lot of you want me to slow down on the map and show you where it is. Mark Staples off to the side yesterday said I pointed the map too fast. So here we go. We just added containment. Here's the Yancey Road area. This base of Yancey for you folks up there now. This is new containment here. We have this new stretch south of the swamp right here. And then we added a little chunk. This is Hidden Hills Road right here. We added this little black line, and we can say we added it because we actually just drew all this in based on the new map that's going out tomorrow. So we really did just add it in. We drew from this dozer push here at milepost 87 on this west side here. So those of you who live out in Outback, Outdrive, inboard this area, you're looking real nice with that piece of containment now. And then all the way down around the south end, we've been waiting for this. The Midnight Suns have been working on this, and other hotshot crews and engine crews for a long time now. And look, we got black line all the way around the base of this fire. This is a really big score. This is what we've been working for since day one. The level 3s went to level 2 today at noon. So for those of you who didn't catch that, the level 3 go evacuations were reduced to level 2 at noon today. Now we know several of you who haven't gone back home quite yet. You're thinking about it tomorrow, or you went in and came out. The question is it safe? And the answer is really not really. It's not gonna really be safe. That's a point we've been trying to communicate now for days. The ash pits, the falling trees, the down power lines, the hazmat. Firefighters like to flag a lot of things when we're working. We flag it for ourselves to see hazards or spots of heat or hazmat. But we also flag it for future crews when they come in. So if you come home and you see lots of different color flagging, or the yellow and black flagging might indicate a hot spot or hazmat, we do have flagging that says things like spot fire on it or hazard tree. So just keep in mind that that's for us, that's an internal communication. But if you see it, you should probably avoid those areas at home. I've got Mark Staples coming in. Gina's working the camera behind. Mark's gonna help me answer some of the questions from today. You were out there on the trap line. And I know that there's parents who are looking at the school route tomorrow. There's 19 stops in here for the school bus, and that bus is not going to make those stops tomorrow. So there's going to be a pickup point up here for children, and a pickup point down here. Right. You were out in the field. How was the traffic pattern?
Well, you know, it's a little confusing. There are trucks parked along the road, there are flaggers, and I mean, all you can really do is go slow. But most everyone's doing a pretty good job of going slow and watching out, and that's the main thing.
We've talked to a lot of folks who are worried about accidents. For us, Gina behind the camera was saying that she was out there at Sheep Creek Lodge today, that the #1 gift you can give the firefighters right now is slow down. Slow it down. We don't want any motor vehicle accidents. We know that there are tourists who have been calling our information line throughout the day, and that what's their biggest question? Is the road open?
That's right.
So it is 2 lanes, but we don't want you to be driving fast in there, especially in this one section. You'll come from the south to the north, or from north to the south, and you'll come out into this open set of road between Hidden Hills and 90, where there's only fire on one side off to the east. And so this is when traffic really speeds up in here. They think that they got it made. But then in Yancey, we're really busy in this area. This is like one of the most impacted areas. We have a lot of hot spots and a lot of mop-up to do. And there's other things going on in here. Utility company's going to be working up here to get this area on now that the investigation is wrapped up. They're working to get the poles. I think they have 1 more day for the MEA, or 1 or 2 more days to get the poles fixed all the way down the south.
Yep. They got some electric put on today at mile 84 area.
Right, okay, Gina from behind the camera, behind the curtain there, is letting you know that in this area, I think MEA's been adding 100
Yes,
or
today
more.
they added about 100.
100 more. So those of you who are wondering, like if you're in the last segment of folks who are waiting on power, there was no discrimination there. They just methodically had to work from north to south, and they did. This is our break it down session. This is where we're honest with you. We had the fire investigation up in this area, and so they had to not energize this to complete the investigation. I believe the investigators were in the last couple of days again. They revisit sites to collect their data, and then they're bumping out. And so I think now that what I heard anyway, tentatively the MEA is going to work on getting this piece. We know there's some rumors going around or some information going around that the fire team is holding that up. There's reasons for that to be done properly. And again, we're really grateful for your patience. Folks had asked about the USPS delivery. Will that be happening again? And I think with the level 3, everything's sort of more back to normal.
Right. This changes everything.
They're not driving into a restricted area anymore, whereas before they weren't going to be able to turn off in the pilot car. So we're taking those steps back to normalcy. One of our finance guys, we kind of went around the room tonight and we asked everybody here, hey, if you lived in this neighborhood or those of you have friends here, what are you hearing? Will their Firewise funding be available in the future? Senator Murkowski was in today. We had a nice visit where they're here, and we talked about those type of, do we have enough funding for prevention? Do we have enough funding for fuel breaks? Is there enough funding? And then there's other, usually the fire marshals, wherever we live, have some funding.
Right. So the big question then would be, where can we find out about it? Where we can get answers to these questions?
Exactly. So
is there anything going on tomorrow night?
So tomorrow night, community meeting.
What time?
6:30, right here at the Willow Elementary School. Tomorrow's the first day of school, and we're going to go visit the children, and we're going to go tell them how grateful we are that they adjusted their schedule around our firefighting, and that we're also telling our firefighters and everybody around here in the Willow Community Center and Command Post to drive really slowly in this community, because now we have to practice what we preach. As fire personnel, there are 565 firefighters assigned to this incident. When this blew up, we only had about 60 to 180, somewhere in that average range of emergency responders. Now, then we bumped to 200, then 240, then 300. We're over 500. That's a lot of vehicles coming and going. I live right up the road, right, and I always have to remind myself to slow down to 25 when you're hurrying to get down the road to Wasilla or get a dog to the vet or wherever you're going. So all the firefighters are going to need to slow it down. The public's going to need to slow it down, which leads to the next question. How long will the firefighters be here? Is it, now that we're at 67%, is it almost over?
Well, I mean, this graph we keep talking about, that tells the story, don't you think?
The big drought graph, the amount of work out here.
Yeah.
We still have the 3 hut trucks. We still have a ton of work to do out here. We do know in our transparency campaign, we can tell you there's going to be a 14-day assignment for Glaskatine. That'll wrap up on Sundays, our 14th day, and then a new incident management team of the Type 2 level will come in. They'll shadow us for one day, and they'll take over. So we want you to know that we don't want there to be any surprises. This is not going to be a pop quiz where you don't know the answers. We want to give you all the answers to the quiz, and then when somebody asks you, oh yeah, no, I heard Kale say that they're going to order another Type 2 team. So that's underway. We had that meeting internally. So the firefighters will be here for a while. Is the State Patrol still here? And they are, right? We still have the local State Patrol cruising, looking for suspicious folks and what have you. We also have our own security now internally. We have firefighter, we call them security 2s. Right behind the cameras, also Norm McDonald, our incident commander. You can't see him waving, but he knows that the audience has been really engaged. He always tells us at our internal briefings that our job is to make sure every last person on this fire knows all the good and all the bad and all the ugly. Right now, those hazards, Norm wants you to know, every last one of you, that he cares about you, and he doesn't want you to step in those ash pits. He doesn't want you to get clobbered by a tree. So if you feel that being home isn't safe yet, we encourage you to listen to yourself and take that time. Like the evacuees in my house, Sam and Renee Crawford and Keith, they didn't go home today. They're taking one more day. Now Tom Kurth is here. We have the leadership behind the camera looking at your comments. So this is the time to start asking questions, folks. You've got the leadership right there.
So you want a couple of the questions, Cal?
Sure, yes.
Yeah, shoot.
One of them is there somewhere they can go look for when what area of electric is turned back on?
Okay.
Because they're saying it's not at mile 84.
Okay. Good question. So tomorrow night we'll be able to have more of the MEA details. What we get is the download from the ops folks, and the incident commander Norm's nodding his head. We do know they've been giving us a number of utilities that they've been doing per day, and if there's an area where can these folks let us know where they are, and then we can help track
Mile
that down?
84, which I think I heard on the radio it was 84.5.
Down at the bottom is still
Not quite yet then?
Yeah, but primarily from the top down, halfway down, and out to Hidden
Hills went 2 days ago now, right?
Secluded Lake still isn't, though. We talked to the utility company today.
And
Amundsen.
Okay,
area.
and some of that was due to the investigation, right? which we're being transparent about. We had to do that. That's part of the legal process to get all this. Every fire has its own story, and this story is that it's human caused, but under investigation. I think that impacted some of this over here, but now that's getting resolved. Does that answer the utility question? I think there's about 180 people left, maybe?
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range?
Should be the next 24 to 48.
So Norm's saying you can hear his voice the next 24 to 48. We know that's critical. We do know that. We do also know that Candy at Sheep Creek Lodge here has a food pantry, and she's been working on getting some gas cards for folks who are running out of funds for their generators and such. So reach out to your local. There's so many amazing stories from this fire about people coming together and helping each other. Sheep Creek Lodge certainly a part of that. They're not open for business right now. They're still restocking their food and getting their well tested because it was off for so long, but they are open for food pantry. You go into the banquet room on the north side, and there's all sorts of food and supplies in there, and then talk to Candy about possibly if enough donations have come in so you can get a gas card. Anything else, Gina?
And the other one is the evacuation levels.
Okay.
Is 83 still at level 2?
Okay, so all the level 3s went to a level 2 today at noon, and that will remain in effect until further notice. We don't anticipate those going back up, but the reason why we keep them at 2 is you're ready. Pills, papers, pets, you already know the routine, you've been out. Then from 81.5 to 79, that went to the level 1 from a 2, and then 79 and below, you're down to a 0. So again, 79 mile marker and south is a 0, 81.5 to 79, went from a 2, ready, to a 1, sorry, 2 set, to a 1 ready, right? Ready, set, go. And then this is all 2. Did I get that right? Okay, so everybody can go home, but if you feel uncomfortable, if you don't feel it's safe when you get there, listen to your intuition. There are a lot of hazards out there. The Willow Rose thrift store has like adopt kits, sanitary kits for folks with soap, and they also have some free clothes they're giving away. Again, the free food at the pantry. The 2 shelters, Upper Susitna and Menards, are still open, and they are doing the case work down there, and the state disaster assistance is, that process is underway. We'll be covering that again tomorrow night.
The Upper Susitna has closed for lodging. They're open for 3 meals a day.
Okay, great.
Clothing, that sort of thing.
I'll just repeat what she just said. Behind the cameras, the Upper Susitna is closed at night, but all their services during the day will remain open. The hot showers, the food, the nice community there. We always like getting up there, and today was just full meetings for us, so I didn't get a chance, but I do like getting up there and meeting and just immersing with you all. We know you've been through the most of it all. So again, the State Patrol is still here. There's more signs in the highway. You'll see that as you travel around. We put more talker signs up, both in the fire area, so you're reminded to keep your speed down, and also towards our fire camp south of Willow. We have a lot of firefighters camping in there now, over 565 on assignment here. And so we've added, in the last only 3 days, several hundred firefighters. That's a lot of tents, that's a lot of vehicles, and they're all turning into the east side of the parks at Camp Ladasa. So that's a secure area. Unfortunately, you're not welcome in there while we're doing our operations. That's part of our secure element, but we need you to be very careful about all the turning trucks, both day and night. Other questions, Gina?
No.
Okay, I'm
Looks
looking
like
at
it.
my list here. I think one of the finance folks gave me the question of a neighbor had, are there fewer and fewer hotspots? Well, with each day there will be, but those hazards will be out there for a long time. So the fire crews will continue to work. They're going to continue to mop up. They're going to continue to mitigate trees, and they're starting to get their sort of feel for how much work there is in each of these subdivisions as they spend more time there. Join us tomorrow night at 6:30. Join us again in the morning, and Gina might have one more.
What mile to mile for 45 miles an hour on the highway?
Okay, so this entire zone, right, is going to be 45. We have flaggers, especially in a couple zones that might stop you entirely, and that is as trucks come in and out. We still have a lot of firefighting, not so much in this area, but these crews are hiking in and out of this area and apparatus moving around, and so you might get very well stopped as if we're a construction site right in here. Anything else? Thanks,
Nothing
Mark.
else.
Thanks, Gina. Thanks, Norm, Ensign Commander, and Deputy Ensign Commander Tom, and thank all you. It's Neighbors Helping Neighbors really makes this work. It's your questions. We're here to serve you, and we'll come back again in the morning. Thanks.